The main purpose of communication is to exchange ideas, thoughts, information, knowledge among the various levels of organization. Communication process must help to effectively communicate the information to the people working in an organization. But for that, the sender or the communicator must have the knowledge of special facts which he can use when he will communicate. And those special facts are known as principles of effective communication. Now we will go through the various principles which are required for an effective communication. First of all, principle of clarity. Principle of clarity states that sender himself must be clear in his mind that what he wants to say. What is the purpose of his communication? He must not be vague. He must not be in confusion when he wants to communicate something to the other person. And he must consider to whom he wants to send the message. So, if there is an clarity in the mind of sender himself about what, why, and to whom he wants to communicate, the communication will be an effective communication. There is one famous saying regarding this. Clearer the thought in mind of communicator, effective will be the communication. The second principle of effective communication is principle of understanding. Principle of understanding principle says that whenever sender encodes the message, he must consider, he must know the needs of the receiver. He must encode the message in the language which is understandable to the receiver. He must encode the message with such symbols, with such signs, with such pictures which will be easily understood by the receiver. If he encodes the message in a language which is not understandable to the receiver, then there is a chances of total failure of communication. For example, if sender is a Hindi speaking person and a receiver is a Tamil speaking person, and if the sender encodes the message in an English language, but that English language is not known to the receiver, in this situation he will not at all understand what the sender has to say and communication may fail. So, principle of understanding says that sender of the message must encode the message in the language which will be understandable to the receiver. The next principle of effective communication is principle of consistency. The principle of consistency says that communicator himself must be in line. Communicator himself must be in a situation or must be inconsistent with the message he is giving to his subordinates or the workers. For example, if a manager wants to communicate to his subordinates and supervisors regarding punctuality, the work must be completed within a specified time limit. Everyone should remain present on or before time in the department is the message a manager wants to give to his subordinates. For this, for effective communication, manager himself must be before time in the department, and if he doesn't follow himself this rule, then his message will not be followed by his subordinates. So, whenever a communicator pass on the message to the receiver, the message must be in line with the rules, regulations, policies of the company. If the message deviates from the policies, rules of the organization, there are chances that followers or the subordinates will not follow the decision, follow the message given by their superior. So, principle of consistency says that communicator should pass on the message which is in line, which is consistent with the policies, rules, regulations of the business organization. The next principle of effective communication is principle of adequacy. The message which has been transformed from one person to the other person, or the message which has been sent from one party to the other party, must be complete, must be sufficient. An incomplete message when it comes to business organization is very harmful for the business. For example, if a message is given by the superior to the colleagues of his department that tomorrow at 10 a.m. there will be a meeting, and he gives that message to the various employees, whether that message is complete or sufficient, no doubt the subordinates will know that there is a meeting tomorrow at 10 a.m. but in this message the manager, the superior, has forgotten to convey the place where meeting is scheduled. So this is an incomplete message and it will not achieve the desired results. So the principle of adequacy says that when a message is transformed from one party to the other party, that message must be complete. That message must be sufficient. There is no more information or not less information in the message, and such kind of an brief messages with its correctness and completeness are very effective when it comes to communication. The next principle of effective communication is principle of timeliness. It happens in business context, it happens in day-to-day life also. The desired result of communication doesn't get because of the time for which or time with which that message is passed on to the other person. If there is a lack of timeliness to reach the message to the desired person, you will not get expected outcome of such an communication. If you consider the example of day-to-day life, and if one person has to communicate the other person that there is an exam tomorrow at 10 a.m. and if that person communicates that message to the other person at 10:30 a.m. next morning, what is the use of such kind of an communication? Communication does not give you the result you are expecting because it is not conveyed at right time. See, nowadays business environment is very volatile. Business environment is a very competitive. So information should reach to the top level management in a specified time limit at right time so that right decisions will be taken when it comes to business organization, and such right decisions are helpful for the growth and prosperity of business organization. And therefore it is said that whenever message is to be sent to the other person or the people around, timeliness must be there in order to have desired and expected result from that communication. In order to have an effective communication, the communication must follow principle of clarity, that is, communication must be very clear. Principle of understanding, it must be in a language which is suited to the needs of the receiver. It must follow the principle of consistency, it must follow the principle of adequacy and timeliness. But with this, another certain things are also to be followed to make that communication effective. The next principle of effective communication, that is principle of appropriate channel. Not only the message must be clear, not only the message must be consistent, but The message must be transformed to the receiver by using appropriate channel. If the messages are lengthy, it is recommended that such messages are transformed by using a written communication method. If you have to give form orders, then such kind of an communication may be done orally. So, principle of appropriate channel says that though the message is correct, though the message is accurate, though the message is clear, but still, if you want to have an effective communication, you must select appropriate channel of communication. That may be an oral medium of communication, that may be a written way of communication, or it may be a non-verbal method of communication according to the needs of three persons. According to the needs of three things, that is number one, sender, receiver, and the message. You must select appropriate channel. So, appropriate channel principle says that the channel, in order to send the message, should consider the requirements of sender, receiver, and the message. The next principle of effective communication is attractive presentation. Whenever a manager has to present in front of audience, he must take all the efforts to make that presentation very attractive. When it comes to PowerPoint presentation, his PPTs must be attractive, consist of various animations. He must include humor, interesting facts, charts in his presentation so that his presentation will be interesting and attractive. Because it may happen nowadays that audience lose their focus on the presentation if the presentation is boring. So, if an effective communication has to be there, the communicator must present the information, knowledge, ideas very attractively so that he will focus or he will be able to grab the attention of the audience. So, attractive presentation is the key for effective communication. The next principle of effective communication is principle of brevity or conciseness. It is said that small messages, brief messages have grace and beauty. Lengthy messages will lose its importance when it comes to understanding of the message. Therefore, the messages in communication must be brief. Though they are brief, the message must be complete, correct, and clear. So, such kind of messages will give you the results you require of your communication process. It is always said by teacher to the students, whenever you write the answers of long answers in your question paper, be brief, be clear, be accurate. But there is a strategy implemented by students when it comes to a written examination. They write the answers upper part, lower part, and very few lines regarding the actual question answer which is required in the examination or an answer paper. So, while answering in question paper, be to the point, brief, and it will score and it will give you a lot of marks. The same principle must be followed in business organizations also. Whenever a message has to be given to the people working in business organization, the message must be to the point and brief. It will give all the success and effective communication. The next principle of effective communication is principle of feedback. Feedback is one element which will say or ensure that whether you have communicated successfully or not. If you have sent a message and you have not got appropriate result of your message, you have not got appropriate feedback, whatever you have expected from the receiver, it means three things. Number one, the receiver of the message has not at all understood the message given by you. Second thing, the message was wrong. the message was incorrect. And the third thing, sender was not clear about what he wants to communicate to the receiver. So, feedback is called as the crux of an effective communication. If you want effective communication, you must get desired feedback. Even a late feedback is a failure of communication. So, principle of feedback says that whenever a sender designs a message, he must ensure that, or he must focus that what result he expect of that message. So, feedback is the sign of success of communication or effective communication. The next principle of effective communication is careful use of body language. See, whenever there is an face-to-face communication between two parties, you not only use words orally, but your facial expressions, your gestures, your body, your shirts, your attire speaks knowingly, unknowingly with the other person. And you must be excel in using your body language in accordance with your words. It will make your communication effective. There is one care one must take while using body language. See, all the signs you show whenever you are talking with the other person don't have universal same meaning. So you have to be very careful when you are using body language. You have to be very careful when you are wearing various colors, and those have different meaning in different countries. So while using body language, you must be very much careful while you are using your communication. I always says, whenever a teacher enters into an classroom, he must be aware of his body language while teaching, how his gestures are, while teaching how his facial expressions are, because students are not only listening to what teacher is saying, but students are also looking, also seeing, also viewing the body language of the teacher. So he must be very careful. It must not give other messages. It must not have wrong impression in front of the student. So, principle of careful use of body language says that you must be very careful when it comes to your facial expressions, when it comes to your gestures, when it comes to your posture, because these elements complements the communication and makes communication effective communication. These are all called as special facts, principles of effective communication. If one implements all these principles in his communication, such communication will be called as effective communication.